Thank you, Madam Chairman, members of the committee. I'm Mike Lehman, representing the Catholic Diocese of Cheyenne, and just taking it a step out. One of the reasons the diocese continues to advocate on another issue, the abolition of the death penalty, which I know is a unifying issue for this committee, but is because we believe that government must be limited. While government is necessary, while government is, dare I say it, good in many cases, its power must be held in check. And then to turn right around and say it's the act of pulling a trigger on another human being, another life, we completely trust the government to do that, seems to undercut all the efforts we make towards religious freedom and freedom of speech. And so that's one of the reasons we do that. Likewise, in my opinion, there are some similarities in looking at this. Naturally, there needs to be an effort to look at motive, to look at intention behind crimes, but to sort of grant the government the ability, and we trust them to look into the hearts of human beings and exactly what's driving these actions is a little bit a reason to be concerned. We've been told that tracking hate crime penalty enhancements or laws will not impact free speech. I'm not completely convinced of that. Whenever we see a high profile crime happen around the country, what happens is the media begins immediately scouring social media posts, these sorts of things to determine motive, what was driving it. To think that our young people won't grow up in this environment and recognize that things, the ignorant things, the uninformed things that they say might not potentially be held against them sometime down the road, I think is a little naive. Growing up in Wyoming just a few decades ago, free speech was palpable. You could feel it. Why do I know that? Because we kids said a lot of dumb stuff. We did. And the thing is we lived to tell about it. Nobody canceled us. It was a wonderful learning environment because when you had a bad idea and it came to the surface, our parents, our aunts, our uncles, our teachers, our pastors were free to come in and help us think just a little more deeply about those naive, ignorant things that we were saying. And they were free to do that without themselves being canceled. In fact, that's what we want. We want an environment where young people feel free to let their imperfect, uneducated ideas come to the surface so that the more wise amongst the community can help them grow in their level of understanding. Anyone who doesn't see that the freedom of speech is under threat in our country has likely never said anything to challenge the direction of the culture. And so that's one of the considerations that I would throw out there. I know the cultural cancel or the cancel culture is different than the government threat to freedom of speech. But I think that's something that should be considered, and I thank you for your time and I would stand for any questions.
Thank you, Deacon. Appreciate the plug for the death penalty. Any questions for the Deacon? All right, none. Thank you for being here.
Just to clarify, that was a plug for the abolition of the death penalty.
Who's to say? All right, please come forward.